Welcome back to episode 3 of our NFT flipping series where we're turning $500 into $100,000. I'm documenting the whole process so you can follow along and see exactly how we're doing it. You're going to learn a ton along the way, so if you're new, make sure you're subscribed. Welcome. But let me walk you through the plan and our next step of action here. So MSGPs have now had their public mint, and you can see the floor has gotten quite thick, right? How do we know the floor is thick? Because you got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 listings at the same exact price point, which shows you a lot of people are trying to get out at this price. So obviously, we don't want to buy these MSGPs when the floor is so thick. So I am anticipating a price drop and dip here because of this thick floor, right? Think about it. The only way the price is going to grow is if you have a buying pressure that is going to exceed the selling pressure. And right now we see a rather substantial selling pressure. And once again, where's the buying pressure? It's non-existent as of now. And so it's up to us to make these reads, and that's the read I'm making. So I want to actually buy these at a cheaper price, but before we can do that, I have made a mistake that I want to show you guys. Obviously, I'm showing you every step of the process. So we are making a withdrawal on Immutable X right now, and let me show you why. I was trying to mint these on the public sale, and I totally forgot that you need 24 hours to be able to withdraw from Immutable X, right? So look, we bought those MSGPs last episode for 0.168, 0.169, sold them for a measly profit, basically a break even when you consider fees. And now you can see withdrawal prepared, right? So I was preparing a withdrawal for 0.18 so we can mint the public sale here. And we completely missed it because once again, there's a 24-hour window from your withdrawal to actually be able to put in a MetaMask. So now we're paying extra gas fees for no reason. And basically all you need to know, guys, because you're about to fall asleep if I continue explaining this, we have the same amount of money except we got to pay gas fees to transfer from Immutable X to MetaMask, and then once it's in MetaMask, we got to transfer it back over to Immutable X. Okay, that's all you need to know. I don't want to put you to sleep. So you can see that withdrawal is pending, but once we get the money back into Immutable X, what is the plan? Like I said, anticipating a price dip, right? And so let me walk you through, guys. You got to be, planning all your steps in advance, right? So let's say these dip to 0.13, which is very likely given the price, action we're seeing here. Tons of selling pressure, tons of listings, and that's going to lead to a price fall here, right? So we're anticipating the future. Now, if we drop to 0.13, okay, well, we should be able to get 3 of them, right? Because we will load this back up with 0.4 Ether, right? Because we're withdrawing right here, 0.18. So all I'm going to do is once it gets to MetaMask, I'm going to put that 0.18 back in here, and then we'll be ready to go. So, okay, we're going to have 0.4 Ether most likely, and then what can I do? I can buy 3 of these for 0.39 total, right? And so that's one plan. Now, if, let's say, okay, once again, you have to plan, guys. If you don't plan, you're not going to do shit in this game, right? So let's say we buy them at 0.13, and then the price goes up to 0.25, right? Basically a double. Well, now if you have 0.25 and you sell them, all 3 of them at 0.25, or let's say, this is a baseline estimate, right? So 0.25, you sell them 3 of them for 0.75, right? So what's your profit there? You're turning 0.39 ETH into 0.75 ETH. Now we actually got a little bit of capital under our belt. And with 0.75 ETH, now we can actually start looking at OpenSea projects and other projects that are going to have a much higher ROI, right? So keep that in mind. Now, one thing I'd like to say about this project is I definitely want to keep at least one of them because I know, hey, this is going to give us access to future pre-sale whitelist events. And so let me tell you something, actually a way this could get to a 1 Ether floor that you don't even realize. And so it's a lot more simple than you think. Think about it. There's a very limited supply here of only 5,100 of these. Now, if you find 5,100 people who want to just hold on to it so they can get future pre-sale access, then based on that, the price can absolutely skyrocket, right? Because if you have 5,100 holders who want to hold just one so they can at least participate in future whitelists, that's all you need for the price to absolutely skyrocket. Whether you think the art's good, whether you think it's whatever, right? That's a fact. All you need is 5,100 people who want to hold it for whitelist, and guys, that's how you get a magnificent price here. And so I think if people understand that, right, if you have 5,100 people who just hold it, these are then obviously going to become extremely valuable, probably one of the most valuable projects here on Immutable X, because once again, a lot of people, they're not going to want to give up one, right? So some people, they may have like 3, some people may have 4, right? Right now we're going to try to buy 3 of them, right? And so maybe I get 2, right? Like I'm walking you through in this example, but no matter what, I know I want to keep 1. And so there's going to be a ton of other people just like me who want to hold at least 1 so they get future access. And so when that happens, the amount of supply that's going to be available on the market at some point is going to be extremely, extremely small. And so right now, all these people, they're giving away their MSGPs, but they're not looking forward and they're not thinking this through. They're only looking at this from a profit perspective, right? So they minted them for 0.08 and they're thinking, oh my God, I doubled my money. Let me get out right here, right? But little do they realize, you got to think, you got to plan and understand the bigger picture here. That is the bigger picture. So now I believe our withdrawal has went through. Okay, it has. So we are going to actually go ahead and transfer 0.18 Ether back to, let's see, right here, back to Immutable. So I'm going to do this right here now. Now, guys, we've got a little bit of an issue here because like I've shown you, I want to deposit 0.18 Ether back into Immutable, but look what happens when we try to do that. We don't even have enough to pay the gas costs. Check this out. So the gas to deposit back into Immutable is $55. You've got insufficient funds. So these are the struggles of working with the $500 account. Now, of course, I could just send myself some more Ether and cheat this challenge, right? I could easily do that. But guys, this is a challenge, and I'm not going to do easy shortcuts here or give myself a break. I'm going to act as just as if I were you guys, some of you guys who are starting with $500, right? So we are not going to cheat this challenge, but that absolutely sucks. So what I'm going to do is actually withdraw 0.15, and we're going to keep 0.04 for gas fees in MetaMask. So let's go ahead and just withdraw as much as we can, have it locked and loaded in Immutable. And as this deposits, it's going to take like 15 to 45 minutes, guys. We will come back and show you when Immutable X is locked and loaded. Then obviously you know the plan. What are we doing when Immutable X is locked and loaded? We are buying the hell out of this dip in MSGPs because we see the value in it. We see how the numbers are going to play out, right? And so that's the important thing is don't be so tunnel visioned on profits now. Also think about the future profits you could be expecting if you play things smarter. All right, so the deposit has made its way through to our account. You can see that here. Once again, showing you guys every single step, transaction of the way, all the way up to 100K. So the plan is simple. We execute on our vision, which is a dip, and then we pull the trigger, and hopefully we can get 3 with the ETH that we've uploaded into here, right? So it's going to be close. I really hope we get 3, but it's possible we're only going to be able to get 2, but we'll see here shortly. Look, price is dipping just like I've called, and so we're looking good. We just got to be patient, pick our spots, pick our targets, and then load it up. All right, guys, we'll be back as this price hopefully drops and we get in. Let's go. Okay, so update here, guys. The price is holding up super strong, and I am super impressed. That means people are smart here. People know what they're doing for the most part. Now, we still have a high concentration of supply overhead at 0.19, but you can see from that last clip, we were just at 0.15, and we just bounced out of there easy. So that's a sign of strength. That's a sign that, look, we're not even going to get down to the targets and prices I was hoping for, down at 0.1 to 0.13. So the goal at this point is going to be, hey, if these can dip a little to like 0.18, I want to grab 2 of them, right? And that's exactly what we can do is grab 2 of them. That's exactly what you could be getting here is a moonshot if people understand the value of just holding one of these, right? We're not saying you need to hold 20 or 30 of them, right? No, if you hold 1, it's going to give you, a lot of benefits, okay? So that's going to be the plan now. We're changing it up. We got to get 2 of them from 0.18, hopefully. And so, guys, obviously we were just at 0.15 earlier, and looking back, it's easy to say that was the right decision to make. But, guys, this is full transparency showing you every mistake and every success I make. So that was a mistake, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a bad one, right? It was a logical choice that we made because if we dipped to 0.13, we could have bought 3 of them, or hopefully we would have gotten very close to buying 3, right? So now we're going to have to settle for buying 2. Another important characteristic of this trade I should point out is it's always a good sign when you're sitting here and you want something to drop, but it's not dropping, right? So for example, what I want MSGP to do right now, I want it to drop so I can get 2 of them. It's not dropping. That's a great sign. And so there's these little subtleties that you got to pick up on and understand. So I like what we're seeing. Remember, that floor was thick earlier, right? There were so many listings there. And so I told you guys, it's going to be very hard to push through that. You know, that's a lot of selling pressure. And so the fact we broke through that in extreme concentration of sell orders at 0.16 earlier, that's an extremely strong sign. So I'm actually liking this trade a lot. I love to see that, and so we really just want to pick up 2 for 0.18. So obviously I'm going to show you that when we pull the trigger. Okay, so guys, 0.185 right here, we can go ahead and buy this one, and then if we can buy the 0.186, boom, we will have 2 of these in for the small account challenge. Remember, boom, that's in, awesome. So this is only hard, why? Because we have such a limited amount of capital to use for this challenge, right? I've been buying some up on my other computer and my other wallet. But right here, are you joking me? I didn't know there was a 5% fee on Immutable X. Since when is there a 5% fee? So it turns out there's a royalty. So it looks like we actually only have 0.179 available. So, okay, now that's what we got to wait for a dip to, okay? But we've secured 1, so worst case, at least we're going to double on this. I think this is going to go to 0.3 Ether. There's no reason, man, not to. And once again, it may not seem like this is going to go to 1 Ether to some of you, but once again, okay, if people hold 1, if 5,100 people just hold 1 for the benefit of the future access they're going to get, it's going to create extremely limited supply. For that reason, this can easily go to 1 Ether floor, even though, you know, it may not be, you know, everyone's got their own opinion. Some may say this isn't as impressive as Moody Krows. It's not this, it's not that, right? But go off the facts. If everyone or a majority of people hold it for the very reasonable benefit you're going to get, right? That's a very reasonable reason to hold on to just 1, right? We're not saying hold 30, just 1. And so that makes a lot of sense. So that's kind of my thesis here, and that's why I expect us to do extremely well. So we're going to try to pick up another one as if we can, but I'll let you guys know, all right? Okay, so in the meanwhile, guys, while I'm doing this little $500 account challenge, I'll actually just go ahead and, since we're not really making much money with our small, $500 challenge, I uploaded Immutable with almost 2 Ether here for this this little play. So I'm going to go ahead and buy in on this wallet, and we're just going to buy basically what is going on, Immutable X, come on. So damn, there's a 5% royalty fee now. That did not used to be the case. So we're going to go ahead and buy these up, and just going to fast forward here. Alright, so boom, we just went ahead and bought as many as we could with around 2 Ether, which is only, what, 3, 6, 9. Okay, so we got 9 of those there, all under 0.2 Ether. You can see that here. Okay, but this is a little off topic, guys. This is not our $500 account challenge, but anyways, I just thought, because look, man, we're not making much money on this $500 account right now. But guys, like I said, I'm going to show you the whole way through from $500 to $100,000, right? You got to realize it's going to be slow when you're starting off with such a small amount. So, that's why we're not going to make $1 million there in one day. Okay, so that's why I'm going to enter in here just to spice things up a little and make it a little more entertaining. But remember, right, on the $500 wallet, I mean, we will get it up. It's just going to take a little bit longer, and then it'll get a lot more exciting there. But okay, anyways, guys, this is off topic. Switching back to H-Town wallet. Okay, so sad for our little $500 account challenge because, obviously we're only able to get 1. But, guys, that's just the limitations you have of working with that tiny little amount. But, guys, that's the whole thing. That's the whole challenge. That's why it's a challenge, right? But let me break down to you why I think this is probably going to take off all the way to 0.3 Ether minimum now, okay? It's really simple. So remember when we were at 0.16 Ether and I said, wow, look at all these selling orders, all this pressure here. I think we're just going to wait for it to dip to 0.12, 0.13, right? Because there was such a high concentration of sellers. And so when you break that high concentration of sellers and you exceed your expectations, what does that tell you? The force and the energy and the money flow from a buyer's perspective, actually exceeded that massive sell wall, which shows you this is way more bullish than we expected, which I'm happy about, right? Easy money. I think this easily will probably take off to 0.3 based on the observations and the behavior we're noticing, right? And so that's the number one key takeaway from this episode, right? Episode 3. The number one takeaway is observing price action. So we saw the price action was extremely bearish at 0.16, and all of a sudden we broke through that wall to the upside. Okay, and so you may not have like a chart here, right? I'm a Bitcoin trader, right? And so obviously it's easy to trade charts. Here you have to have mental charts, right? And so to me, that was like a major resistance level. We broke through with flying colors on massive volume. And so that's why I'm super confident that this is going to continue higher, okay? Because you just broke a key barrier of resistance that was, really the odds were against it to break through at that point, okay? So understand the price analysis, how you go about reading the floor, price action, the strength of the price action, and that's the read we're making now, okay? So only able to get 1 here on this wallet, but that's okay. We got 9 in the other wallet, and I've got 5 on another wallet. So in total, we've got like over 15 of these MSGPs here. And like I said, all it takes is education, right? It takes educated people for this price to go a lot higher, right? And that's the problem, is a lot of people are so focused on short-term profits that they're just going to be in this for a quick flip. But if a majority of people understand the benefits they get by holding one of these, and you understand that the supply is limited to only 5,100, diamond hands goes a long way in a limited supply like this project. Do you see what I mean? And so when you have such a limited supply, educated people who understand the benefits they get for holding one, that is what can actually push this project to heights greater than Moody Krows. And so I know Moody Krows is the OG, right? It's the first one. And so everyone thinks that this is the number one blue chip on Immutable X. But the truth is, I guess the tokenomics, right? It's not tokenomics. I guess it would be the NFT-onomics, right? Like the supply here, and these are tokens, right? So the supply here combined with the benefits you get, right? I guess what I'm trying to say is this has better tokenomics. This has better pumpamentals than Moody Krows does, because Moody Krows has 10,000. And so even though Moody Krows is supposed to be a launch pad as well, remember, there's 10,000 supply, which makes it a lot harder because out of 10,000 people, you're much more likely to have a bunch more flippers, right? With a more limited supply, when holders get a hold of that limited supply, like I said, the pumpamentals become a much greater, I guess, thing, or I guess a part of the price of these tokens here. Does that make sense? So hopefully that makes sense. You have to consider all these factors. You may think Moody Krows is better, but that doesn't mean the price of MSGP can't be greater. Remember, the supply is half as much as a Moody Krow. And that's why I think the pumpamentals, the tokenomics here, I guess we could say, are a lot better here. And that's why I think this thing is set to take off to probably 0.3 Ether. Now, we still have a high concentration at 0.2, but I'm telling you, the buying pressure is way greater than we thought. And that's why, with all the fundamental reasons I've broken down to you in this video, analyzing the price action as well, I think this thing is ready to storm its way up. It's going to break through this 0.2 barrier easily. And guys, with such a limited supply, this should have no problem getting up to 0.3 Ether in no time, in my opinion. After that, like I said, the sky is the limit, because at the end of the day, holders set the price. And when you have a high concentration of holders for this project, and remember, you could apply what I'm saying to any project, right? You could say, oh, well, if everyone holds this project, it's going to go so high, right? But the thing is, not everyone's going to hold this project, right? That's the key difference, is people will hold this project because of the benefits you get, right? And so a lot of people were talking about how their minting process wasn't smooth yesterday. Well, first off, it's not their intentions. And second, who cares if the minting process is smooth or rough? What's the benefit to you at the end of the day is you're going to get pre-sale access to future NFTs without having to go in a Discord for 6 hours. Okay, does that make sense? So fuck it. Who cares if it's smooth or rough, right? What matters at the end of the day is what you get, and you're going to get that. And that's why I think that with all the reasons I've explained to you in this video, right, fundamental and price-based, this should do extremely well. I could be wrong. Guys, don't think I'm going to be right 100% of the time. I obviously have an extremely good track record. I am usually right. It doesn't mean I can't be wrong. So let's assess the risk on this trade. Okay, this was an example I was doing earlier, right? So let's understand the risk still. Okay, if you buy at 0.2, right, this is what I have to understand, is if I'm wrong, okay, we're at 0.2, the max we've set in, like we've explained this in last video, right? Go back and watch last videos. This drops all the way to 0.12, right? Because really the floor would be 0.1, right? It would dump to 0.1, and then it would bounce and find support at 0.1, because we know this is not going to go lower than 0.1. So if it gets support at 0.1, then it would bounce to 0.12. So I'm looking at a 40% loss, guys, if I'm wrong. And I can accept that risk, right? I can accept the 40% loss. Now, on the other hand, upside potential, you know, getting up to 0.3 Ether, that's a 50% gain minimum, right? In my opinion, minimum we get up to 0.3. So I'm risking 40% as the absolute worst case, and I'm gaining 50% as my minimum, modest, and base case. Now, what if, like I said, people are educated, people understand the fundamentals, the tokenomics here, right? Which is, I know it sounds a little funny because, you know, an NFT, not a crypto token, but this is a token, right? It's just smaller supply, really, is really what it is. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thing is, if people understand, people hold, like, you know, any logical person would do. If you want pre-sale access in the future, then this could easily go to 0.5, right? And so actually, with a 5,000 supply, right, 5,000 supply, a 0.5 Ether floor would be equal to, in Moody Krows, right, with a 10,000 supply would be equal to a 0.25 Ether floor in Moody Krows, right? Because it's all about the market cap, right? You see how with a 10,000 supply and a 0.44 Ether floor, I mean, what's the market cap there? We'd have to get the calculator out and do the math here, but basically, you can have double the price in this MSGP because you have 2 times less the supply, and it would still be, I guess, equivalent to Moody Krows. Does that make sense? Or it would be equal to Moody Krows being, you know, half the price, right? Because Moody Krows has double. But anyways, I would have to really break that down and get the calculator out to make all of that make extra sense if you're not getting what I'm saying. But anyways, guys, that's kind of my breakdown, and that's my transparent entry into this trade here on our $500 to $100,000 challenge, as well as I spiced it up and showed you me buying 9 of them on another wallet. So, all right, guys, that's my trade here. That's my breakdown of MSGP, why I think it should do really well. I can absolutely be wrong, so I accept the risk. If I'm wrong, I'm going to lose 40%, right? That's how I set it up. I accept my risk. I accept my loss before the trade, and that way, you know, there's no regrets and no doubts. You know what I mean? So, worst case, I think, drop to 0.12, lose some money. Modest case, rocket up to 0.3, and maybe stop there. But really, like I said, if people are educated, people hold, and we're going to be able to see that based on the price action, then this could easily get up to 0.5. And so, man, I'm not here to hype you up or pump you up, man, at all. I'm just breaking down my process and my thought, my thought process and how I come to these decisions, as well as just show you transparently. And so if I lose money, you see that, guys. You see that, right? So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, guys. We're doing a giveaway here. You know, I'm giving away 3 free NFTs. So, you know, if you want a free NFT, go over here on Twitter. All right, I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care.